What's up, everyone? My name is Tyler DeLuca, and I have something to say. I think that this year's freshman class in women's college basketball is the greatest freshman class women's college basketball has ever seen. Let me explain. Listen, I understand completely how large of a claim that is. What I mean by that when I say that is not that past classes haven't been deep or that past classes haven't had some incredible star players and multiple in the same class, but what I mean is that no class that I've ever seen before has come in and immediately top to bottom across the nation had such an immediate impact compared to this class. And to show you that, I've picked some of my personal favorite freshmen and put them into 3 tiers: flashes, cooking, and hooping. And to show you all of these freshmen, we're going on a tour of the country, starting in my hometown of Norman, Oklahoma, with Mikaylah Williams. Folks, I've been given a very precious piece of information when it comes to Oklahoma freshman Mikaylah Williams, and this is an x-ray of Mikaylah. Okay, I know the dog thing is way overplayed, but I promise you, no player that I've seen this year has exemplified being a dog more than Mikaylah. I genuinely believe at this point in her career, she can already guard 1 through 5, and that's through grit, tenacity, defensive IQ, strength. Dog. A dog. And now, when it comes to the flashes, that's on the offensive side of the ball. We just saw her put up 18 points, career high, 2 back-to-back threes at the end of the game against Cincinnati. That's the flash. And that flash was super bright in that game. But if she can piece that entire offensive game together, Mikaylah Williams will be the best foundational piece that Oklahoma will have as they enter into the SEC. I think she's going to be incredible. The flashes are so bright, and I can't wait to see how she develops throughout her career. Alright, y'all, let's go to the East Coast now to UConn with Ashlyn Shade, KK Arnold, and Cadence Samuels. A dog to some Huskies. So the reason I grouped these 3 all together, all in the flashes tier, is because now is the time for them to take it up a notch. Obviously, UConn has had terrible luck with injuries so far this season, and all 3 of these freshmen have shown flashes of greatness already in my eyes. All 3 completely different players and different types of flashes, but now obviously AZ Fudd is out. Aubrey Griffin looks to be out for an extended period of time as well. Now is the time for these 3 freshmen to be able to step up and go from flashing to either cooking or hooping. I absolutely think they have the talent. I just don't think they've had the opportunity yet, because even when they did have the opportunity, which started in the game against Texas in the 4th quarter, they completely changed that game even though UConn still lost it. From that point on, they've been slightly increasing the volume on these freshmen, and now it's time to blare the speakers on these 3. I'm excited to see how they fill in and try and make up for the losses that UConn has. I think these 3 are incredible talents and have huge potential. I'm ready to see it this season. Let's stay on the East Coast. Let's go to NC State's Zoe Brooks. I'm a big fan of Zoe Brooks, and that's because she's made her way into my heart because she's a 2-way guard. I love me a good 2-way guard. It's my favorite type of player, actually, and Zoe Brooks is exemplifying that early on in her career at NC State. It's kind of one of those situations where she's doing exactly what she's being asked to do. She just is on the number 3 team in the country, but she's doing a fantastic job of what she's being asked to do. A double-digit score, averaging over a steal per game. I am just excited to see as more time goes on and players graduate and she's able to grow into this, but she is already a very solid, stable contributor to the number 3 team in the nation. And this is just the flashes tier, y'all. This is just the flashes tier. So be on the lookout for Zoe Brooks at NC State because I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Let's move away from the East Coast now. Let's go back across country to BYU's Kaylee Woolston. I'm a fan. I almost put her in cooking tier. It was like right on the edge, but honestly, I just want to see more from her because I think BYU needs to give her more responsibility. Already averaging 14 points a game for BYU so far this season. offensive weapon, also averaging a steal per game, going back to my two-way stuff right there. I'm a fan. I just want to see even more. And that's what makes this freshman class so impressive to me, is that someone I'm putting in the flashes tier, I'm asking for more from. More responsibility, because I think that she's earned it. So I just want to see an increase just in the responsibility for Woolston. I think BYU needs it. I think that she has earned it so far, but that is going to do it for the flashes tier. To recap the flashes tier, Oklahoma's Sahara Williams, UConn's Caden Samuels, KK Arnold, and Ashlyn Shade, NC State's Zoe Brooks, and BYU's Kaylee Woolston. Batting leadoff in the cooking tier is Kansas's Samaya Nichols. Kansas honestly has not been to the level that I had anticipated them being at so far this season, but that is not to the fault of Samaya Nichols. I think that the proof is already in the pudding for her to make her a building block for Kansas going forward when it comes to competing in the Big 12 at a high level. I genuinely think that she is that type of talent for the Jayhawks. It couldn't have been a bigger get, and I think she's already come out and shown why she is the highly touted recruit that she was coming into Kansas, and it couldn't have been a bigger get for them going forward and in the present. Kansas as a team has a lot of stuff to figure out, but Samaya Nichols is an absolute shining bright spot. Back to the East Coast we go with Syracuse's Alyssa Latham. You want to talk about working on the floor and just going and going and then going some more and outworking every single other player on the court? That's Alyssa Latham. Her motor is going to get her points, is going to get her rebounds, and it already is. I'm a huge fan, and it's what has helped propel Syracuse back into the top 25 as a program. She's been a huge key to their success, and like I said, that motor that she has is just non-stop going. I'm a fan. Moving back away from the East Coast, let's go back to my state of Oklahoma with Staley Hurd from Oklahoma State. This is a player that's going to go at you again and again and again with no remorse, being able to do it inside and out at a consistent level already. So far this season, she's already become a go-to player for Oklahoma State. In the clutch time moments, she has come through, and when you think about, I don't want to say it again, but the dog mentality, it just feels like she has it, and the talent is already there with absolutely zero fear in her game. I love, and I mean love, watching Staley Hurd play. I genuinely think that she has a capability of taking Oklahoma State to new heights as a program. I think that she's that type of program changing talent. I think she has the capability of doing that. She's already shown that she can be the player for Oklahoma State this early on in her career. A consistent start, a cooking start for Staley Hurd at OSU. Well, you'd have to be living under a rock to not know this name or have seen a highlight from her. Mikaylah Williams from South Carolina. No player introduced themselves to the nation as quickly this season as Wiley did. The crazy highlights seen by KD, Magic Johnson, and so many people across all the social medias against Notre Dame in Paris, the fake pass, layup, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy. But she is still a growing but consistent player coming off the bench and providing points for this South Carolina team. The defense is going to need, to pick up a little bit. I'm not going to lie. But man, she's fun to watch. One of the most fun players to watch in the nation. If she can put it all together, because she's already cooking off the bench. I like what she's doing. I think she would be a higher level scorer, higher points per game average scorer if she wasn't at a team like South Carolina, a stacked program like South Carolina. But she's been cooking so far, and none more than that highlight in her first game on the scene in college. Last in the cooking tier, a duo that both have a case to be in the hooping tier, Iowa State's Addie Brown and Audie Crooks. Both of these players are incredible and are unique at what they do. I am so impressed by this duo. A duo that is going to be stealing some Big 12 games, and a duo that very well by the end of their career have multiple Big 12 championships under their belt. I truly believe that they have the power as a duo to go and do that. I think Addie Brown is going to have multiple triple doubles in her career. She's already come close to having that in just this short frame of being a freshman so far at Iowa State. This duo, if they stick together, and I absolutely think that they should, if they stick together, they will bring huge success to Iowa State before it's time for them to graduate, and they already are. Just if you haven't seen an Iowa State game, you're missing out. I promise you. Go watch the Cyclones. In the cooking tier, we have Kansas's Samaya Nichols, Syracuse's Alyssa Latham, Oklahoma State's Staley Hurd, South Carolina Malaysia Full Wiley, and Iowa State's Addie Brown and Audie Crooks. Starting off the hooping tier, let's go to Arkansas and talk about Talia Scott. One word to describe her: bucket. It's really that simple. A bucket. I mean, inside, outside, near, far, however you want it, you can get it. A bucket. That's all it says on her resume. Bucket. She is an absolute scorer, tied for 8th in the nation in scoring at the time of recording this. She is incredible and is just one of plenty amazing scorers in this freshman class. I mean, the heart and soul of this Arkansas offense. If you haven't seen her play, you're missing out. Go watch Talia Scott. Go get buckets. Next up, let's head to Texas. Madison Booker. Man, she hasn't had all the responsibility in the world leading up to, or in the early parts of this season. But now with Roy Harmon out for the year, it's Madison Booker's time already. And she is up for that challenge. I promise you, guard skills and a forward's body, she is going to be a starting player in the WNBA someday. It's insane to me how already complete her game is, capable of playing all 40 minutes of the game. She did it against UConn. I was at that game, and her performance to start that game off was incredible, and that was just a small taste of what Madison Booker can do with her scoring, with her ball handling, a more than capable defender in my eyes as well. Madison Booker is going to be a starter in the WNBA someday, but this year she can take the responsibility to take Texas as far as she possibly can, even with the injury to Roy Harmon, because they have Madison Booker. Even though she's a freshman, she is hooping, and because of that, they can still go incredibly far and accomplish a ton of things this season. From Texas to Louisiana, Mikaylah Williams from LSU. Y'all, this is the start of the big three of this class. These three guards, Mikaylah Williams being the first of them, are incredible. I think that Mikaylah Williams could be putting up potentially the best numbers in this class, but she plays on a stacked LSU team. But man, she has won them games already this season. She's put up incredible numbers. Everything just looks easy immediately for her. She's a very, very solid defender as well, on top of her ability to get to her spots and score smoothly and play at her pace with no speed up at all from the transition from high school to college. These guards in this class are potential franchise players in the WNBA, potential national champions in college that you build around. Mikaylah Williams is one of them ones and has been absolutely hooping so far this season. Now let's head north to Notre Dame for Hannah Hidalgo. H2O, let the 2 stand for both H's or 2 ways. The 3rd leading scorer in the nation and has 6 steals on average per game. Do y'all understand how ridiculous that is? How unreal that is for any player, let alone a freshman? Hannah Hidalgo. It's hard to even really comprehend some of the things that she does. Her defensive timing with her steals is impeccable. Her work rate is high. The offensive scoring, 3 levels. She is a perfect guard. I love everything about her game. No complaints here for Hannah Hidalgo, and it's hard to even put into words how good she is and can be. This is just the baseline. This is the floor. Notre Dame is kind of known as guard you, and injuries have come into play into letting her take on that legacy. Obviously, Olivia Miles is hurt, but she has come in and took over from day one. Hannah Hidalgo has been hooping. Last but not least, let's head to the city of stars for one of the brightest stars in all of college basketball, USC's JuJu Watkins. Y'all, JuJu is one of the smoothest operators I've ever seen with the ball. It's like she's playing chess and everybody else is playing checkers. It's incredible the pace that she can play at in comparison to everybody else. It's like she's playing on a different plane. She's in 4D and everyone else is in 2D. It's incredible some of the stuff that JuJu Watkins can do on the offensive side of the ball. She has the potential to go down as one of the greats. The greats. And that's not over exaggeration. She has that level of talent. JuJu Watkins is going to be, and already should be, one of, if not the biggest stars in women's college basketball and eventually in women's basketball, period. JuJu Watkins has every potential, every ounce of it, to go down as one of the greatest to play this game, and she leads this freshman class with that potential. In the hooping tier, Arkansas' Talia Scott, Texas' Madison Booker, LSU's Mikaylah Williams, Notre Dame's Hannah Hidalgo, and USC's JuJu Watkins. I want to make this clear. This list was just my favorite freshmen that came to mind when making this initial list for this video. This is not even an all-encompassing list of freshmen that I have seen make impact across the nation. This class is ridiculously deep, and they are making an immediate impact across the nation, all in their own unique ways. I've never seen a class do this in the history of women's college basketball, at least in my history of women's college basketball. I've never seen anything quite like it, and that's why I think this freshman class just might be the greatest freshman class that women's college basketball has ever seen.